"Sir, can you lift me up to see the sky?" asked the wheelchair girl to the CEO on the ferry deck. The winter ferry cut through the dark, Atlantic waters like a silver blade through velvet. Marcus Chen stood at the railing of the upper deck, his black suit jacket buttoned against the December wind. At 42, he had built an empire in sustainable technology. But tonight he was simply a man trying to escape the weight of too many boardrooms and too many decisions. The Christmas lights strung along the ferry's railings blinked red and gold, reflecting off the water below. Other passengers huddled in groups, laughing and taking photos under the clear night sky. Marcus preferred solitude. He had learned long ago that success often meant standing alone. He was about to head inside when he heard it, a voice, so soft he almost missed it over the sound of the waves. "Excuse me, sir?" Marcus turned. A young woman sat in a wheelchair near the decorated Christmas garland that wrapped around the deck pillars. She couldn't have been more than 25, with blonde hair that caught the starlight and eyes that held something he hadn't seen in years, genuine warmth without expectation. "Yes?" Marcus kept his tone neutral, professional. The woman smiled and it transformed her entire face. "This is going to sound strange, but could you help me? I'd like to see the sky properly. The Milky Way. My chair sits too low and the railing blocks my view." Marcus hesitated. He wasn't accustomed to random requests from strangers. His assistants handled such things. But something about her directness, her lack of pity-seeking or manipulation, caught him off guard. "You want me to lift you?" he asked, making sure he understood. "Just help me stand for a moment," she said. "I can bear some weight on my legs, but I need support. I promise I won't sue if you drop me." Her eyes sparkled with humor. Despite himself, Marcus smiled. "What's your name?" Emma Foster." "And you are?" "Marcus." "Well, Marcus, I've been on this ferry 3 times, and I've never seen the stars like they are tonight. Clear sky, no moon, middle of the ocean. It's rare. I don't want to miss it." Marcus looked around. The other passengers were absorbed in their own worlds. No cameras pointed their way. This wasn't some setup or publicity stunt. She simply wanted to see the stars. He walked over and crouched beside her wheelchair. "Tell me what you need me to do." Emma's face lit up. "Lock the chair brake first, that lever there. Then if you can help me stand and support my weight, I can lean against the railing." Marcus did as instructed. He positioned himself beside her, wrapping one arm carefully around her waist. She gripped his shoulder with surprising strength, and together they rose. Emma was lighter than he expected, and she steadied herself against the railing with both hands once vertical. "Oh my goodness," she whispered. The sky spread above them like a canvas of diamonds on black silk. The Milky Way stretched across the heavens, a river of light so clear that individual stars seemed to pulse with life. A shooting star traced a brief, brilliant arc across the northern horizon. "Did you see that?" Emma laughed with pure joy. "I made a wish." "What did you wish for?" Marcus asked, surprising himself with the question. He didn't believe in wishes. "If I tell you, it won't come true," she said. "That's the rule." They stood there in comfortable silence, Marcus supporting her weight as she gazed upward. He found himself looking less at the stars and more at her face. The wonder there, the complete absorption in the moment. When had he last felt that way about anything? "You can lower me now," Emma said softly. "Thank you." Marcus helped her back into the wheelchair, careful to make sure she was secure before stepping away. But instead of leaving, he found himself sitting on the bench beside her. "Why this ferry?" he asked. "If you don't mind me asking." Emma pulled the blanket over her lap more snugly. "I take it every few weeks. My sister lives in Portland. I'm in Boston. I could fly, but I love the water. And people are different on ferries. Less rushed, more human." "How long have you been in the wheelchair?" 2 years. "Car accident. Drunk driver ran a red light." She said it matter-of-factly without bitterness. "I'm one of the lucky ones, though. I can still walk short distances with support. Some people don't get that." Marcus absorbed this. In his world, people complained about delayed flights and slow Wi-Fi. "You seem remarkably positive about it." Emma shrugged. "I wasn't at first. I was angry for months, furious at the universe, but anger is exhausting, and life keeps moving whether you're furious or not. I had a choice, drown in what I lost or figure out what I still had." "And what do you still have?" "Everything that matters," she said simply. My mind works. My heart works. I can still paint, which is my job. I can still love my family, make new friends, taste good food, hear music, see stars. The package changed, but the gift is the same. Marcus sat back, her words settling into him like stones into deep water. I'm not sure I know what the gift is anymore. Emma turned to look at him, really look at him. What do you do, Marcus? I run a company. Technology sector. We develop renewable energy solutions. That sounds important. It should be, Marcus said, and was startled by his own honesty. I started it because I wanted to make a difference. Now I spend most of my time in conference rooms arguing about quarterly projections and stock prices. I can't remember the last time I actually saw one of our installations. Saw the solar panels we put on schools or the wind turbines generating power. It's all spreadsheets and strategy. Why are you on this ferry? Emma asked. Marcus paused. Running away, I suppose. My board wants to take the company public. Big money, huge expansion. It's everything I should want. But once we do that, it won't be mine anymore. It'll belong to shareholders and market analysts and people who care about profit margins more than purpose. Will going public help more people get clean energy? Probably yes. Then maybe that's your answer, Emma said. Maybe the gift changes packages sometimes. Before Marcus could respond, an older couple approached. The woman leaned on her husband's arm, both bundled in heavy coats. Excuse me, dear, the woman said to Emma. We saw you looking at the stars. Could we trouble you to take a photo of us? Our anniversary is tomorrow, 40 years. Emma's face broke into that radiant smile again. I'd be honored. Marcus, could you help me with the phone angle? For the next few minutes, Marcus found himself directing an impromptu photo session, Emma calling out encouragement and the elderly couple giggling like teenagers. When they walked away hand in hand, Emma turned to Marcus. See, life happens in the moments between our plans. Marcus laughed. A real laugh that came from somewhere deep he'd forgotten existed. How did you get so wise at 25? 24, actually, Emma corrected. And I'm not wise. I just learned that being bitter takes more energy than being open. Every day I wake up, and I make a choice. Am I going to focus on my legs not working the way they used to? Or am I going to focus on everything else that does work? That simple. That hard, Emma said. Simple doesn't mean easy. Some days I fail completely. Some days I cry in the shower and feel sorry for myself and wish things were different. But then I dry off, get dressed, and try again. Marcus looked out at the water, processing. His phone buzzed in his pocket, probably. His CFO with another urgent message about the IPO timeline. He ignored it. Can I tell you something? Emma said. When I first asked you to help me, you looked scared. I wasn't scared. You were terrified, Emma said gently. Not of dropping me, of connecting. I see it in a lot of people. They're afraid that if they help someone like me, they'll get pulled into some sad story, or that they won't know what to say, or that my disability is somehow contagious. Marcus started to protest, then stopped. She was right. His first instinct had been to walk away, to avoid the complication of human need. I'm sorry, he said. Don't be. You stayed. That's what matters. You helped me see the stars, and now we're having this conversation. That's more than most people manage. They sat together as the ferry churned through the black water. Other passengers came and went. The temperature dropped, and Marcus retrieved his coat from the indoor cabin, bringing back hot chocolate for both of them. Tell me about your painting, Marcus said as they sipped from the paper cups. Emma's eyes lit up. I do watercolors mostly. Ocean scenes, landscapes. I sell them online and at a gallery in Boston. It's not making me rich, but it pays the bills. I'd like to see them sometime. I have a website. Emma Foster Art, very creative name, I know, she smiled. What about you? When you're not running from boardrooms, what do you do? Marcus realized he didn't have an answer. I work, that's mostly it. That's sad, Marcus. The blunt assessment should have offended him. Instead, it felt like a release. Yeah, it is. It's not too late, you know, Emma said. Whatever you think you've lost or missed, it's not too late to find it again. Different package, same gift. The ferry horn sounded, announcing their approach to the Portland terminal. Other passengers began gathering their belongings, the spell of the open ocean breaking. Marcus stood, reluctant to see this strange, profound evening end. Can I help you to the car deck? I'd appreciate that, Emma said. As Marcus pushed her wheelchair toward the elevator, Emma reached up and touched his hand on the chair's handle. Thank you for stopping, she said. for not walking past, for being brave enough to connect with a stranger. Thank you for asking, Marcus replied and meant it with his whole heart. For reminding me that life is bigger than my fears. They exchanged phone numbers in the parking area, promising to stay in touch. As Marcus watched Emma's sister help her into a van with a wheelchair lift, Emma turned and waved, that same luminous smile that had first caught his attention. Marcus drove off the ferry into the Portland night, but instead of heading to his hotel, he pulled over at a beach parking lot. He got out of the rental car and stood under the same stars Emma had wished upon. He thought about his company, about the choice before him. Going public would change everything, yes, but Emma was right. It would also bring clean energy to millions more people. The package would change, but the purpose could remain. He thought about his empty calendar outside of work meetings, about how he'd forgotten what it felt like to simply stop and talk with another human being. Without an agenda, he thought about a young woman in a wheelchair, who had more courage and wisdom than most executives he knew, who faced each day with a choice between bitterness and openness, and who chose openness. Marcus pulled out his phone. 27 unread emails, 6 missed calls. He ignored them all and opened a note to himself. Remember the stars, he typed. Remember Emma. Remember that connecting costs nothing and gives everything. Remember that the gift remains even when the package changes. Remember to stop being afraid. 3 months later, Marcus's company went public. The IPO was successful beyond projections. But Marcus negotiated something unusual into the deal. He would remain CEO with autonomy to direct a portion of profits toward providing free solar installations to underserved communities. He also mandated that executives spend 1 week per quarter in the field, seeing firsthand the impact of their work. And on his office wall, purchased from a small gallery in Boston, hung a watercolor of stars reflecting on dark ocean water. Visitors often commented on it. Marcus never told them the full story. That felt private, sacred, but he always smiled when he looked at it. Because Emma had been right. Life happened in the moments between plans. Connection required courage, and sometimes all you needed to do was stop and help someone see the stars. If this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe for more stories about kindness, connection, and the moments that remind us what truly matters. Leave a comment below about a time a stranger changed your perspective. I'd love to hear your story.